Alien Queen in danger. Earth's strongest warriors join. Forces to save her. Third person, simple, basic English, violated, free, interesting, far away from Earth. In a peaceful part of the galaxy, there was a planet called Zorelia. It was a beautiful place, filled with floating gardens, crystal towers, and a blue sky that glowed even at night. The people who lived there were known as the Zyrans, a kind and wise race. They believed in peace, learning, and harmony. Their queen, Valtari, was loved by all. She was calm, powerful, and full of wisdom. She once saved other planets by stopping a spreading space plague many years ago. Even Earth had received her help, though many humans had forgotten that time. But now, Zorelia was in danger. In her private chamber, Queen Valtari stood before a round glass device glowing red. Her guards had fallen silent. The palace was under attack, not by ships or soldiers, but by something silent and unknown. Communication systems were crashing. The skies had turned dark. Her advisors had disappeared. Her only choice was to send out one last message, secret message, hidden inside old galactic codes. She whispered, "If anyone receives this, trust Earth, send help." And with that, the message flew through space, riding on invisible waves, heading toward the small blue planet known as Earth. On Earth, deep under a mountain in a hidden science base, Dr. Helena Moss was working late. At night, she was an expert in alien languages and space signals. That night, while checking her monitor, a strange code blinked onto the screen. It was a signal no one had seen for many years. It was from Zorelia. Helena's eyes widened. "This can't be," she whispered. She worked quickly, decoding the message piece by piece. As she translated the last line, her hands shook. "Zorelia is falling. I trust Earth. Send your strongest." Without waiting, she sent the message to Earth's Global Defense Council. The room filled with alarms and red lights. Earth's leaders gathered quickly in a virtual meeting. Some were confused. Why should we help an alien queen? Others remembered history. She once helped us. We owe her this. In the end, all agreed, Earth is help. But this wasn't a mission for soldiers. It was a mission for Earth's most trusted, brave, and skilled people. Within one day, 5 unique warriors were chosen from around the world. 1. Captain Jace Hunteray, former space pilot and skilled fighter. He never backed down from danger. Calm under pressure, he was known as the unshakable shield. 2. Kira Lange, young mechanic and engineer. She could fix anything: ships, machines, even alien tech. Her tools were part of her body, always ready. 3. General Orionin, older man, quiet but respected. He had once fought in the Great Moon Conflict. No one knew more about alien warfare than him. 4. Tomei, peaceful monk from the Himalayas, could sense energy in space. He didn't fight with fists, but with inner balance and strange powers. No one fully understood. 5. Rekka, strong woman from a desert planet colony. She had robotic arms built by herself after a crash long ago. Her silence spoke louder than words. Each of them had different pasts, different skills, different pain. But they had one thing in common. They all believed in doing the right thing. The 5 warriors were brought to the horizon. 8. Earth's fastest spaceship. Inside the silver ship, they met for the first time. Captain Jace stood tall, looking at the others. "We don't have much time." The Queen's message was short. "But if she's in danger, we need to move now." Kira looked around at the controls. "The ship's ready. I've upgraded everything. Even the translator works with Zyran codes." General Orion nodded slowly. "We land quietly. No shooting unless necessary. We don't know who or what the enemy is." Toma closed his eyes. "There is something dark in space. I can feel it. Like a shadow growing where light used to be." Rekka said nothing. She simply tightened the tools on her belt and sat near the window, watching the stars. As the ship lifted off, Earth grew smaller behind them. The stars ahead sparkled, but the team could feel the weight of their mission. They were not just going to help a queen, they were stepping into the unknown. As the horizon moved through space, Kira ran system checks. She noticed something strange. We're getting strange waves from the Zorelia system. It's like their moon disappeared. General Orion leaned closer to the screen. That's not possible. Zorelia's moon is sacred. They never touched it. Jace narrowed his eyes. Something's wrong. We need to stay alert. Then, Toma suddenly held his chest. I feel something. A message. Not in words, but in feeling. Someone's afraid, and someone is hiding something. Everyone turned toward him. Hiding something, Kira asked. Toma opened his eyes slowly. There may be danger. Just ahead, but among us, a silence filled the ship. Could it be true? Could someone on their team not be trusted? But before anyone could speak, a red alarm rang across the ship. Gravity storm was pulling them off course. Kira grabbed the controls. Hold on. The horizon shook as stars spun outside. Toma held up his hand, creating a calm field of energy. Around the team, Jace helped Rekka stay steady while Orion checked the engines. Finally, after minutes of chaos, the storm passed. Kira wiped her forehead. That was close. Rekka looked out the window again and pointed. Zorelia was now in sight. But something was wrong. Half the planet was glowing red, and its moon really was gone. From the story, Alien Queen endanger Earth's strongest warriors join. Forces to save her third-person simple basic English violated free, engaging the ship. The horizon slowly approached the planet Zorelia. From space, the once beautiful world looked broken. Large, dark clouds floated above the land. Strange red lights blinked from the surface. Half of the planet glowed with a strange energy, hot and sick. And the moon, which had always circled Zorelia, was missing. Ship, the team stood in silence. Captain Jace stared at the view. That's not just destruction. That's a warning. Kira checked the sensors. There's no moon left, not even pieces. It's like someone took it away. General Orion crossed his arms. Only one group in this galaxy had the power to move a moon, and I hoped I'd never hear their name again. Toma looked calm but serious. I feel the Queen's presence. Still alive but fading. We must hurry. Rekka tightened her gloves and stepped toward the docking bay. She didn't speak, but her eyes showed she was ready. The horizon began its landing. The auto-guidance system refused to work near the surface, so Kira took manual control. I'll land us near the Queen's Palace ruins, she said. Jace nodded. Everyone, check your gear. No weapons unless absolutely needed. The ship landed with a soft thud. Dust and ash filled the air outside. The planet was quiet. It's quiet. As the team stepped out, they saw a once great city in ruins. Towers had fallen, roads were cracked, floating lights like broken drones hovered silently above the ground. This was a place of beauty, whispered Toma. Now it feels like a grave. Suddenly, a weak signal came through Kira's wrist device. It was broken and static-filled, but they heard something. Don't. Trust. Someone. Danger. Inside. Then silence. Everyone looked at each other. Was someone from Earth being warned? Or was it a trap? Jace turned toward Orion. Do you know anything about this? Orion shook his head. Oh, but I don't. Like surprises, the team moved through the city carefully. They wore light suits to breathe and keep out toxic air. Rekka led the group, strong and steady. Kira scanned for signals. Toma watched the energy in the air. Jace checked the path. Orion stayed close, silent but alert. As they walked through the broken streets, something strange appeared. A group of 8 Zyran survivors, tired and frightened, peeked out from behind a fallen building. A small child stepped forward and pointed toward the mountains in the distance. She whispered, "The Queen is in the Silver Tower. But it's covered in mist now. They say the unseen guard it." The team exchanged worried looks. The unseen, Kira asked. Who are they? Orion spoke quietly. Secret group of ancient warriors. Long ago, they wanted to control Zorelia by fear and trickery. Queen Valtari banished them, but it seems they've returned. Toma looked toward the distant tower. I feel their presence there. Shadows that don't belong in this world. Jace gently placed a hand on the child's shoulder. "Thank you. Stay hidden. We'll bring your queen back." The survivors nodded and disappeared into the ruins. The journey to the Silver Tower was not easy. The team crossed glowing rivers, broken bridges, and strange metal vines that had grown through the land like snakes. As they got closer to the tower, things became worse. The mist around the tower made their eyes burn. Sky above them turned purple. Their devices stopped working. Even Kira's scanner went dark. "This place is not natural," she said. "It's like something is blocking all tech." Suddenly, the ground shook. A low humming sound came from under their feet. Jace shouted, "Scatter!" Trapdoor opened below Toma, but Rekka grabbed him just in time. Strange flying machines appeared in the sky round, silver and silent. They had no weapons, but moved like they were watching. "They are not attacking," Jace said. "Just watching, testing us." Orion frowned. "They want us to go forward. This is all planned." Toma stood still, eyes closed. We are being studied, judged, but not all of us. Only some." Rekka stepped forward and pointed at the tower, then started walking again. The others followed. After a long climb, the team reached the base of the Silver Tower. It was tall and shining, but covered in mist. The door opened on its own, without a sound. Inside, the walls moved slightly. Light danced like water on glass. It felt more like a dream than a place. "This is not just a building," Toma whispered. "This is a place of tests." As they walked deeper inside, the lights around them changed. The walls reflected their pasts. Kira saw her old lab explode the day she lost her best friend. Rekka heard voices from her childhood full of pain and loss. Jace saw the faces of people he couldn't save during past missions. Even Orion froze for a moment, staring into a mirror that showed him as a young, proud leader. Then, as a man full of regret, Toma touched the wall. "These are illusions. We must focus on the mission." Jace took a deep breath. "Let's move. This tower is trying to break us before we reach her." At the top of the tower, they found something shocking. Queen Valtari was there, trapped inside a crystal chamber. Her eyes were closed. Her body floated, glowing dimly. Thin wires of light connected her to the floor. "She's alive," Kira said. "But her energy is being drained." Before they could move closer, the door behind them slammed shut. A voice echoed through the room. "Well done. You passed my tests." From the shadows stepped a tall figure, Commander Thrall, an old Zyran general long thought dead. He wore a dark suit covered in strange runes. "You shouldn't have come," he said. "But now that you're here, we can begin the real game." And beside him stepped someone from Earth. The team froze. It was General Orion. From the story, Alien Queen, endanger Earth's strongest warriors join. Forces to save her. Third person, simple, basic English, violated free, engaging. The crystal chamber glowed softly. Queen Valtari floated inside, her eyes closed, her face calm but weak. Lines of energy pulsed through the floor, connected to her body like thin strings of light. It was clear something was draining her strength. The Earth team stood frozen. Commander Thrall, a tall Zyran with dark armor, stepped forward from the mist. His face was cold, his eyes shining with pride. "You came all this way," Thrall said, smiling slowly. "But you are too late." Then came the biggest shock. Standing beside Thrall was General Orion. Captain Jace turned toward him, confused and angry. "Why, Orion? Why are you with him?" Orion didn't answer right away. He looked tired, older, as if a heavy truth was crushing him from inside. Thrall laughed. "You trusted him?" "Just as Queen Valtari once trusted me, but trust is a weakness." Kira stepped forward. "You betrayed her. You betrayed your people." Nodded proudly. "Yes, I did. Because peace makes people soft. Zorelia was once strong. Now it hides behind flowers and songs. I will bring it back to power." Rika's robotic hands made a soft clicking sound. She didn't speak, but her stance said she was ready to protect the queen, no matter the cost. Toma stepped forward. "You believe in fear, but fear breaks. Unity is stronger." Orion finally spoke. His voice was low. "I made a mistake. Thrall promised me that Earth would survive if I helped him. He said Zorelia was finished. Jace looked straight at him.
What?
And you believed that? We came here because you said we had a duty. Orion looked away, ashamed. I was tired of war, tired of watching good people fall, I thought. Maybe letting him win would stop the pain. Toma touched Orion's shoulder gently. Pain is real, but giving up never brings peace. Suddenly the room shook. The crystal around the queen dimmed, and the energy lines grew stronger. She doesn't have much time, Kira said, checking her small scanner. They're stealing her life force. Thrall lifted his hand. Let her go. She's the past. I will build the future. No, Jace said firmly. You'll destroy everything she built. That's not leadership. That's control.
Oh.
From the side walls, strange machines came out round. Floating drones with red lights. They hovered silently, waiting for his command. But before Thrall could speak again, Toma stepped forward. His eyes closed. He raised his hand slowly. A soft glow of energy surrounded the team. The drones moved closer, but then froze in place. Tower is alive, Toma said softly, and it listens to truth. The lights on the drones blinked, then faded. They dropped to the ground, lifeless. Thrall stared in shock. Impossible. I built them to obey only me. You built them with fear, Toma said. But fear can never control real life. Thrall growled and turned to escape. This is not over. He pressed a small device on his wrist and disappeared into the mist. Running deeper into the tower, Rekka rushed to the crystal chamber. We must save her now. Kira and Toma joined her. Kira opened her toolkit and began working fast. These wires. They're connected to her energy center, Kira said. If we cut them the wrong way, she could die. Toma placed his hands on the crystal. Let me guide you. Her spirit is still here. I can feel her heartbeat. Outside the tower, the sky turned darker. The planet groaned like it was alive and hurting. The ground cracked in places. Something deep below was breaking free. Jace turned to Orion. You still have a choice. Help us now, or watch this world fall. Orion closed his eyes. I never wanted this. I only wanted peace. Even if it meant making a deal with the wrong person, you can still fix what you broke, Jace said. Orion took a deep breath and walked toward the chamber. There is a control room below. This tower? I know the codes. We can shut down the energy drain. Then let's go, Jace said, nodding. He, Orion, and Rekka headed down the stairs. Kira and Toma stayed with the queen, carefully working to protect her life. The control room was cold and full of blinking panels. Thrall had set up machines to drain not just the queen's power, but the energy of the entire planet. Itself was being turned into a fuel source. Orion entered the codes. Lights flashed red, then green. It's working, he said. The drain is slowing. But just then a shadow moved behind them. Thrall had returned. You think I'd let you stop me? He shouted. We'll never leave this place alive. He raised a weapon strange and humming with dark power, but Rekka stepped in front of Jace and Orion. She held out her robotic arms and blocked the blast. The force pushed her back, but she stayed standing. Jace ran forward and tackled Thrall. They fell into a pool of glowing light. Sparks flew. You're done, Jace said. This ends now. Orion hit the emergency shutoff. The machines turned off. The room grew quiet. Up in the chamber, the crystal slowly cracked. The wires fell. Away. Queen Valtari opened her eyes. She breathed slowly, looking around. Kira smiled. She's awake. We did it. Toma bowed his head. Her light is returning. The queen looked at them and spoke softly. Earth answered my call. You came. Yes, Kira said. We're here to bring you home. Outside, the sky began to clear. The red glow faded. Flowers started growing again in the dust. Zorelia was healing. From the story, Alien Queen endanger Earth's strongest warriors join. forces to save her third-person, simple, basic English violated, free engaging queen. Valtari stood slowly. Her body still weak, but her eyes filled with light. The crystal chamber that had trapped her was now cracked and open. The energy wires had stopped glowing. Her soft voice echoed in the quiet tower. You came. Earth truly came to help. Kira smiled. We heard your message. Couldn't ignore it. Toma bowed his head. You are not alone, Your Majesty. The queen looked around. Where is Commander Thrall? Kira answered. Jace and the others went after him. But don't worry, he won't hurt you again. Meanwhile, deep in the lower levels of the Silver Tower, Captain Jace Rekka and General Orion moved carefully through narrow halls. The lights flickered. Shadows danced on the walls. It felt like the tower was shifting around them. Something's not right, Jace said. These walls weren't here before. Orion stopped. This part of the tower was built with illusion tech. The Queen designed it long ago to protect secrets. Thrall must have reactivated it. Rekka's eyes scanned the walls. So, it's showing us fake paths? Jace nodded. Yes. And if we're not careful, we could walk in circles forever. The floor suddenly shook. They turned around, but the hallway behind them had vanished. We're trapped, said Orion. Jace looked. Ahead. No. We just have to trust our instincts. Back in the main chamber, Queen Valtari placed her hand on the wall. A soft blue light appeared. I can guide them, she said, but I need time. My strength is not fully returned. Kira helped her sit. Rest will protect you. Valtari closed her eyes and sent her thoughts through the tower's heart. She could feel Jace, strong and determined. She could sense Rekka's bravery. Even Orion, once lost, now carried regret and hope. She whispered, find the truth, and the way will open. Inside the maze of illusions, Jace suddenly stopped. He was staring at something on the wall of memory. It was Earth, his old team, a mission that went wrong. People he couldn't save. Jace stepped forward, feeling the weight of guilt, but Rekka pulled him back. It's not real. It's testing you. He looked at her and nodded. Thanks. Oh. They walked again. But now the tower played tricks on all of them. Rekka saw her old home, burning in flames. Parents calling her name. She paused, then touched her chest where she kept a broken necklace. I miss you, but I won't fall for lies. Orion saw something to his younger self standing tall on a battlefield full of pride. The image spoke to him. You were strong once. You don't need them. Orion closed his eyes. I was wrong. Strength is not power, it's knowing when to choose the right path. Suddenly, the illusions faded. The hallway in front of them opened into a bright room. They had passed the test. At the center of the room stood a large machina memory core connected to the tower. It showed floating images of Zarelia's history. Kira's voice came through their coms. We see you. The Queen helped open the path. Jay smiled. We're in. But what now? Orion pointed to the core. This is where Thrall controls the tower. If we shut it down, the illusions will stop. The whole planet might heal faster. Rekka stepped toward it. And let's do it. As they approached, something shifted again. A voice echoed. Not so fast. Commander Thrall appeared, his armor cracked, his eyes full of anger. You passed my tower, but you still won't leave alive. Thrall raised his hand. Memory core turned red. The walls began to shake. Queen Valtari is weak. Her light will fade. Zarelia belongs to me now.
Ow.
Jace stepped forward. It doesn't, and we're here to end this. Thrall created a wall of energy to block them. Jace looked at Rekka. You take the left. I'll go right. Rekka nodded and charged forward, her robotic arms glowing. Orion stayed back, searching for the main switch on the machine. Thrall blocked Jace's path. But Jace kept moving, dodging blasts and pushing forward. You fight, well, Thrall said, but you're just human. Jace grinned. And that's enough. Rekka reached the left panel. She punched through the lock, wires sparking around her. Kira guided her from the other side through her device. Cut the green and blue wires together, Kira said. Not the red. Rekka followed quickly. The energy wall flickered. Meanwhile, Orion found the central key. I can stop it, but I need 5 seconds, he called. I'll give you 10, Jace shouted. Pushing Thrall back with a burst from his energy shield, Tama's voice echoed from above, filled with calm power. The Queen believes in you. So do we. With a loud click, Orion turned the switch. The memory core turned white. The walls stopped shaking. The illusions disappeared. The tower became still. Thrall dropped to one knee, weak and defeated. You think this is over? He whispered. JC stepped close. It is. Back in the main chamber, Queen Valtari stood tall once again. Her strength had returned. She placed her hands on the floor. A wave of soft light passed through the tower and into the ground. Outside, the planet responded. Trees grew again in ruined areas. The red skies cleared. Rivers flowed freely. Zorelia was healing. Jace, Rekka, and Orion returned to the Queens. Chamber Valtari smiled at them. He did not only save Meal, saved hope. Jace looked at Orion. He helped us in the end. Gave it right. The Queen walked toward Orion. You made a mistake, she said gently. But you chose. To correct it? That is true courage. Orion bowed deeply. Thank you, Your Majesty. As the sun rose over Zorelia, survivors came out of hiding. The palace began to shine again. The Earth team stood together, tired but proud. Kira laughed softly. So, are we calling this a win? Jace nodded. We're not done yet, but yes, this is a win. Queen Valtari stepped forward and raised her hand. Earth has honored its promise, okay? And Zorelia will never forget. From the story, Alien Queen endanger Earth's strongest warriors join. Forces to save her third-person, simple, basic English violated free engaging. The bright light from the healing tower filled the chamber. Queen Valtari's power returned. But there was still one heavy truth hanging in the air, the betrayal of General Orion. The team sat quietly around a glowing table in the palace's restored chamber. The Queen watched Orion carefully. He looked tired but ready. To speak? Jace broke the silence. We all want to understand. Why did you join Commander Thrall? What made you turn your back on Zorelia and Earth? Orion sighed deeply. I will tell the truth. I was tired, not just of fighting, but of losing hope. He looked at the Queen. When the darkness came, I thought the only way to stop endless war was to surrender. Thrall promised peace in exchange for loyalty. Kira frowned. Peace with fear is not peace at all. It is slavery. Orion nodded. I know that now, but at the time I believed it was the only way to protect Earth and Zorelia. Valtari spoke softly. You made a choice that hurt us all. But you also helped save me in the end. That counts for something, Toma added. Sometimes the hardest path is to admit when we are wrong. Orion looked at each of them. I betrayed my people, but I never betrayed my heart. When I saw your courage, Jace, your faith, Rekka, your calm strength, Toma, I realized there was another way. Jace smiled. I found the courage to do what's right even after. You were wrong. That's what makes a true warrior. While they spoke, a messenger entered with news. The Unseen, the shadow group who had attacked Zorelia, were gathering in a hidden base nearby. They want to strike again, the messenger said urgently. They won't give up easily. Valtari stood. Then we must prepare. We cannot let fear rule our people. Rekka flexed her robotic arms. I'm ready to fight. Kira looked at the Queen. We should use what we learned in the tower. Illusions can protect us or confuse our enemies. The Queen nodded. And we will stand together, Earth and Zorelia. The next day, the team gathered on a high plateau. Overlooking the valley where the Unseen's base was hidden in thick fog, Jasek looked at the view. They think we are weak, that we can be divided, but they don't know Earth. Orion spoke quietly. They fear what they cannot see. We will use that. Toma smiled gently. Sometimes the greatest power is not force but wisdom. The team split into 2 groups. Jace, Rekka, and Kira prepared to create illusions around the valley. Using technology combined with Tama's energy, they planned to confuse and mislead the unseen. Orion and Toma would approach the base quietly. Their goal was to find the leaders and see if peace was possible as night fell. The illusions began. The valley lit up with strange, shifting shapes, ghostly cities, moving walls, and glowing creatures that were not real from inside. The unseen's base alarms rang out. The leaders rushed outside, confused by the illusions. Jace's group watched from a distance. Hidden and ready, inside the base, Orion and Toma moved like shadows. They found the leaders in a dark chamber. An old Zyran warrior named Zarek and a silent woman called Lena do Orion spoke first. "You have caused pain, but I believe we can find a better way." Zarek laughed. "You betrayed your own people. Why should we listen to you?" Toma raised his hands in peace. "Because we want peace, not war. Because Earth helped us. Because even those who make mistakes can change." Lena looked at Orion. "Is this true? Have you changed?" Orion nodded. "Yes, and we ask you to stop this fighting. For the future." The leaders looked at each other, then slowly nodded. Back outside, the illusions faded. The valley became calm again. Jace smiled. It worked. Kira added, "We used strength, but also mercy. That is what makes us human." Veltari's voice came through the coms. "You have brought hope to my people again." Rekka looked at the stars. "We are not just warriors. We are guardians." The team stood together, ready for whatever came next. From the story, Alien Queen endanger Earth's strongest warriors join. Forces to save her third-person simple basic English violated free, engaging the air on Zorelia felt different now. The heavy clouds had cleared and soft. Sunlight warmed the land. Flowers bloomed where only dust had been. Rivers flowed with clear water and the blue sky returned. Inside the palace, Queen Valtari stood tall. Her eyes shone bright with new energy. The crystal prison was gone, and her strength was fully back. She looked around the chamber at the Earth Team Captain Jace Hunter, Akira Lang, Rekka Toma, and even General Orion who had earned back their trust. Valtari smiled softly. "Answered my call. You came across the stars to save me and my people. For that, Zorelia is forever grateful." Jace nodded. "We did what any friends would do. You saved Earth once, now we returned the favor." Rekka spoke quietly. "It was not just power or weapons. It was trust and courage that brought us here." Toma added, "The light of one can brighten the darkest night. Together we shine." No, Orion, now humble, said, "I lost my way, but found it again because of all of you." Outside the palace, crowds of Zyran survivors gathered. They cheered as their queen appeared, strong and alive. Families reunited, children laughed, and hope filled the air. Valtari raised her hand. "We have been tested by darkness, but the light of unity has won. Earth stood with us, proving that kindness and courage cross all worlds." The crowd cheered louder. That evening, the Earth team gathered under the stars. Jace looked at the vast sky and said, "This mission was more than saving a queen. It was about saving a future." Kira smiled. "I've learned that strength is not only in machines but in the heart." Rekka nodded. "I've seen what hope can do even when everything feels lost." Toma closed his eyes briefly and said, "Peace is a journey, not a destination. And we have taken a great step today." Orion said, "I will spend the rest of my days helping to rebuild and protect this world. I owe that much." Valtari joined them. "And Earth will always be welcome here, my friends. Together, we will watch over the stars." As the days passed, the bond between Earth and Zorelia grew stronger. Scientists from both planets shared knowledge. Warriors trained together. Children from Earth and Zorelia played and learned side by side. The once broken world healed fast. The planet's blue moon was gone. But a new moon rose born from the unity and hope of two worlds. One day, as the Earth team prepared to return home, Valtari held a small ceremony. She gave each member a glowing crystal symbols of friendship and trust. "Keep these close," she said. "They will remind you that no matter how far apart, our hearts are connected." Jace took his crystal. "We will return if ever you need us," Kira added. "Earth will always answer the call." Rekka smiled quietly. "We are not alone," Toma said softly. "Light and shadow exist together, but light will always find a way." Orion looked at the queen. "Thank you for your forgiveness." Valtari bowed. "And thank you for your courage to change." Horizon prepared for departure. The Earth team climbed aboard, feeling both happy and sad. Jace took the pilot's seat and looked back one last time. Zorelia was no longer a broken planet. It was a shining example of hope. As the ship rose into space, Valtari's voice echoed. "Softly through the comes, Earth and Zorelia, two worlds united, forever strong." The stars sparkled brighter as the ship sailed home,